Ray Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Beautyo Books, an independent family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. BeautyOBooks.com.
And by Ocean State Bird Club. We're running new online talks about topics like owls and cuckoos to enhance your birding skills. Learn more by following us on Facebook and on our website, oceanstatebirdclub.org.
Good morning and welcome to our show, number 820. Sending best wishes to all friends and Talkin' Birds listeners in Texas as they continue to struggle with some really horrible winter conditions there. We'd like to invite listeners to visit our website and Facebook page. By the way, if you'd like to see one way to help folks there in that real humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, some hardy volunteers in Texas are braving the cold and snow to rescue cold-stunned sea turtles. There's a rehab center in South Padre Island in Texas called Sea Turtle Inc. They've reached out to ask for help with the challenge of keeping the turtles warm and alive. And by Thursday, they said they were at capacity for volunteers and have asked people to stay away so the staff can concentrate on treating the thousands of turtles that they've rescued. By the way, among the companies helping out in the endeavor is Elon Musk's SpaceX, the aerospace company, which has a facility in nearby Brownsville, Texas. They sent a large commercial generator to keep the power going in the rehab center. Well, our Freya McGregor is often out and about looking for birds down in Alabama these days, but in the audio postcard from her that we're about to hear, she has taken birding indoors. Let's give it a listen.
Hey everyone, it's Freya McGregor here. I'm being extra quiet because I'm standing in my bathroom and the sound you can hear that's not me is European starlings that are nesting in our fan in the bathroom. We've seen them coming and going in and out of the side of the house, the little vent thingy, and there's like poop on the wall, so we knew that they were doing something. What else would they be doing except for nesting, right? And my husband just alerted me to the fact that if we stared directly underneath the vent inside the bathroom, we can hear the parents talking to the nestlings. They've gone quiet now, but it was pretty bizarre. So I guess although there they are, not native, I guess you can find birds at home, literally at home. All right, see ya.
That's our Freya McGregor proving that you can find birds wherever you go. That's our mystery bird, and here's a preview here of the mystery bird contest. We do this contest every week on the show, and we'll be doing the actual thing in just a few minutes, but this is a little preview here of our mystery bird contest presented by Red Start Birding. Red Start Birding is your new resource for birding optics, gear, and expertise. Great birding starts at redstartbirding.com. Our mystery bird is a dabbler, not a diver, with a long, slender neck and a pointed tail that's exceptionally long in males. Those males have a white chest, a white stripe up the back of the neck, and a dark reddish-brown head. The female is lighter overall with a cream-colored crown and face. Our bird breeds all across Canada and Alaska, in some of the U.S. Midwest and Western states, and winters along the Atlantic and Pacific coasts. That's a mystery bird in a preview here, and a beautiful Joel Yankees original, iconic A6F classic tube feeder. with a lifetime warranty against squirrel damage is the prize on our mystery bird contest this morning.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Here are some of the stories and videos we have for you right now on our talkingbirds.com website and Facebook page. Romance is in the air for ravens, birds that mate for life. They live sometimes at, 40 years. We have that story from Colorado's Vail Daily newspaper. An endangered bird species is evolving rapidly to keep up with invasive prey. We have that story from University of Florida News. And we have fastcompany.com's take on why cities should be designed for birds. Those are some of the stories on our talkingbirds.com website and our Facebook page right now. And don't forget, if you'd like to chat with or share photos and videos and observations with other Talkin' Birds listeners, please check out our now 250-member strong Talkin' Birds flock. And you can find that on Facebook. We also have a blog this week from our Debbie Bleacher. It's the Debbie's blog. Here's what it's about. There are more than 10,000 bird species on Earth, and now scientists involved with the Bird 10,000 Genomes Project are beginning to understand how such amazing variety evolved. Debbie tells us more about it and links us to full details in her Debbie's blog, now available under the Read tab at talkingbirds.com. A royal salute to some more Talkin' Birds ambassadors helping us do what we're trying to do here, which is just to get out the word about birds and conservation. And thank you to Zeke S. from Costa Mesa, California. They're in Orange County. Thank you so much, Zeke. And thank you to Megan M. from Stamford, Connecticut. I think about halfway between New Haven and New York. And thank you so much, Megan. And we send out a call to all Talkin' Birds listeners to consider joining Megan and Zeke and our other ambassadors in helping us spread the word about birds and conservation. We'll send you some little cards for you to hand out at your leisure to friends and neighbors and fellow birders, or sending them to them. You can join up. Just go to the Get Involved tab at the top of our homepage there at talkingbirds.com. Still to come in our show today, we'll meet Karina Newsom, who'll tell us about her recently completed master's degree project studying the state of Seaside Sparrows on the coast there in Georgia. Plus, we'll catch up with Mike O'Connor in our Let's Ask Mike segment about strange going-ons at a listener's birdbath. And up next, we're taking last week's mystery bird and learning a bit more about it by delving into the Talkin' Birds archive and making it this week's featured feathered friend. Presented by Birdwatching Magazine. For more than a quarter century, Birdwatching has been North America's premier magazine about wild birds and birding.
Hey, Eddie, who's that over there? That's not the...
The duck-tailed demon?
Yeah.
No.
Is it...
The crested crusher?
Yeah.
No.
Well, who is it then?
That, my friend, is the hooded merganser.
Well, let's get out of here!
Yes, the hooded merganser. Not so scary, really, unless you're a small fish. It's a spectacular, beautiful bird, very distinctive, with that big, white, fan-shaped crest, lined in black, kind of like a buffle head, but more dramatic looking, especially with that white chest and bold black stripes on the chest and rust-colored sides. The female's a little smaller and grayish-brown with a smaller crest. The hooded merganser is a small to medium-sized duck which nests in tree holes. It is often seen in shallow water, sometimes in the company of the spectacular wood duck. And here's something pretty cool. The hooded merganser can actually change the refractive properties of its eyes to allow it to see better as it finds its prey by sight underwater. And like an alligator, it has transparent third eyelids, believed to offer protection like a pair of goggles as it swims underwater. The hooded merganser is a quiet bird except during courtship, when the male makes this sound. The hooded merganser, our featured feathered friend. You're on Talking Birds. Welcome again to our show, number 820. And if you haven't checked out our website, we hope you don't mind us mentioning it again. It's talkingbirds.com, and it's also a nice portal to our Facebook and Instagram pages as well. So hope you'll check it out there. Well, we just heard about birds preying upon fish. Sometimes, though, it can be just the opposite, as we're about to find out as we welcome Karina Newsom. She's an ornithologist and science communicator. She was a co-organizer of Black Birders Week, and she's the community engagement manager for Georgia Audubon. She's also completing a master's program at Georgia Southern University. And she's with us this morning to tell us about some of the discoveries she's made, including some surprising ones, during her research on seaside sparrows. Good morning, Karina.
Hi, Ray. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, you're very welcome. We're thrilled to have you on the show. Seaside sparrows, they've adapted to life in the salt marsh environment. Rising sea levels are a well-known threat to their survival because their nests are so close to the water, but you've kind of homed in on another threat to the birds as the focus of your research, right?
That's right, yeah. My research focuses on nest predation, which may at first sound very unrelated to anything connected to climate change, but these birds in particular, as you said, because they nest so close to the water, right on the coast in the tidal salt marshes, if they place their nests in the grass too low to the ground, they risk being flooded, and their behavioral response to being flooded, because if they lose their offspring to a flooding event, they'll build another nest right away, but they'll build it higher off the ground, which in theory is a really good idea. But the problem is that the higher off the ground a nest is, the more exposed to predation that nest is. So they're caught really between a rock and a hard place when it comes to finding the perfect location, the perfect height off the ground for building their nest.
Yeah, seaside sparrow catch-22 there, kind of. So I remember from your research, raccoons, American mink, rice rats are kind of the main land predators, but as we allude...
And, the reason why kind of understanding what the predators are and kind of where predation is happening is for the purpose of future wildlife management. So hopefully wildlife managers can do something to address the increasing narrow line that seaside sparrows have to toe to successfully nest.
So when they build those nests again higher up, is it mostly a visibility factor? Is that why they become more vulnerable to those land-based predators?
That's what we think. We think that the lower a nest is to the ground, the much more concealed it is by the surrounding marsh grass, but possibly higher off the ground would reveal its location a little more easily.
So we've teased this idea about birds preying on fish and maybe the tables turning, and you discovered something where those tables were turned a little bit by a little fish called the mummy chog.
That's right. During my data collection in my first field season in 2019 out in the salt marsh, firstly, in order to know when nest predation is happening, one of the mechanisms I use is to put video cameras on the nest. And so there was one particular day where I had a video camera on a nest where one of 3 eggs had hatched that day. And so I got my video camera footage back, and I was looking through this nest experience out in the marsh, essentially. And one night there was a flooding event, and I was watching the footage, and the water essentially entered the nest and just kept rising. It was a very high tide that evening. And so while I was watching this video where my heart was saddened to see a brand new chick experiencing nest flooding like that, I was surprised to see that it was still alive. Even though it was only hours old, it was still alive, floating on the surface of the water. And then the most unexpected thing happened. A mummy chog that was swimming in the surrounding water leapt into the nest from that water. And it was, I remember just I could not believe what I saw. I was shaking, I was sweating, I was texting everybody. And it actually hung out in the nest for a few minutes, not doing anything. It just sat there. And then all of a sudden it looks up at the chick that's floating on the surface of the water, and within moments it just drags it down and starts thrashing it around in its mouth to get little pieces of birds as a meal.
So these birds are being preyed upon by all these mammals and now fish, and we can't only blame those groups either, but a bird species involved too, right?
That's right. So there have been some records of birds like grackles and blackbirds preying upon Seaside Sparrow nests. I actually never caught any of footage of that happening, but a surprising bird predator emerged. Also because I was, just watching the goings-on in the Seaside Sparrow nest, and marsh wrens, Worthington's marsh wrens, which are about half the size of a seaside sparrow, very small, but full of more than enough personality. I caught them on, I want to say 3 occasions on video, but I saw many, essentially signs that this had happened throughout the marsh over the course of my field season. These birds, little birds, would wait until a mother seaside sparrow was, off of the nest, right? Took a break incubating, maybe to get some food. The marsh wren would fly to the nest and poke holes in all of the eggs and then fly away. That's it. There were a couple of instances when the marsh wren would either take a sip of the yolk, thus making it a predator, right? So it would poke holes, and it just looked like it was thinking, oh, this is pretty good. And it just, went on to take a couple of drinks of the yolk in the egg. And there were a couple of times even when the marsh wren would throw the egg out of the nest after poking holes. Wrens in general have been known to be extremely territorial birds, killing the eggs and offspring of their own species, of other bird species. So this behavior was surprising to catch on camera, but in the context of wren behavior altogether, made a lot of sense.
People want to know, by the way, or maybe ask, why don't they just nest somewhere else? But they'd have to go through some extremely fast evolutionary changes, right, to be able to do that.
That's right. Seaside sparrows are very specifically adapted for life in the salt marsh. They are salt marsh endemic, which means they're found in no other kind of ecosystem in their entire range. And because they have, a morphology that allows them to survive flooding events and drink salt water and behavior that is specifically served to aid in their survival in a tidal environment, if they were to quickly move to a different ecosystem, right, say a non-tidal wetland or, non-salt marsh or forest or something like that, where you might find other kinds of sparrows, they wouldn't be able to survive because they lack the necessary adaptations. And in order to somehow evolve the morphology and the behavior to survive in a different ecosystem, they would have to undergo some major evolution, which there's not really enough time to do in the context of how quickly climate change is progressing, a big threat to their current ecosystem.
So what do you see as the future for seaside sparrows with all these threats? Is there some hope?
Yeah, it is easy to look at the razor-thin line that they have to walk in order to survive and to successfully reproduce. But yes, I would say that there is hope. There are several management strategies that can address the issues they're facing. So one issue is that sea level rise is going to, swallow up the marsh and eliminate the habitat itself, right? There have been some management strategies outside of the context of seaside sparrows, but helping marshes what's called migrate. So doing things like cutting down upland trees a little bit to make it a quicker process for the salt water to convert forest to marshland and then therefore maintain the space needed for the marsh-dwelling species. But when it comes to predation, right, one side of that two-sided opposition of threats that are, can oftentimes prevent the success of seaside sparrow nesting, wildlife managers have used predator exclusion and predator management as a way to help birds that are nesting survive across different species, across different ecosystems. And so it's possible that might be a solution for seaside sparrows as well, especially as their habitat becomes smaller. So my research looking at the threat of nest predation, particularly as it pertains, again, to mammals, has shown that as you get closer to roadways and closer to tidal rivers, the threat of nest predation increases. There's a lot more predator activity closer to roads and the edges of tidal rivers. And so with that information, wildlife managers would be able to kind of zero in on regions of the marsh where seaside sparrows are nesting at those kinds of locations, especially ones close to roads, because those are essentially like funnels for mammalian predators right into the marsh, especially when it's attached to a city environment. So there is hope for both predator management and management of the ecosystem in the face of a very rapidly changing environment.
Karina Newsom is a master's degree student at the Hunter Lab at Georgia Southern University and community engagement manager for Georgia Audubon. And you can follow her on Instagram at hood_naturalist and on Twitter at hood_naturalist. Karina, thank you for your great work and thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you so much, Ray. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, Karina Newsom. And coming up next here, it's our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to cross a few species off your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you want to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. That would be the sound of our mystery bird. It's a dabbler, not a diver, with a long, slender neck and a pointed tail that's exceptionally long in males. Those males have a white chest, a white stripe up the back of the neck, and a dark reddish-brown head. The female is lighter overall, with a cream-colored crown and face. Our bird breeds all across Canada and Alaska and some of the U.S. Midwest and Western states, and winters along the Atlantic and Pacific coasts and through the southern states. It's found in various shallow water habitats, where it feeds on things like grain and seeds and aquatic insects. That's our mystery bird. The prize this morning is a beauty. It's the Droll Yankees' original, iconic A6F classic tube feeder, featuring durable metal parts. The Droll Yankee says squirrels can't chew, and they don't just say that, they back it up with a lifetime warranty against squirrel damage. So prizes and clues in the sound of our mystery bird, and here's the important phone number, and we urge you to call us as soon as you can, so we'll have time for our contest. That would be 781-837-4900. That's 781-837-4900. And we'll have a winner regardless of whether this is an exactly correct guess, thanks to a drawing. 781-837-4900. Meanwhile, Mike O'Connor, let's ask Mike live in just 1 minute. Beauty-O Books carries one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. New, used, and rare books covering everything from backyard birding to general ornithology, from field guides to photography skills, biography, fiction, and humor. You'll find it all, along with the knowledgeable customer service you've been looking for, in one convenient place. BeautyOBooks.com. B-U-T-E-O. BeautyOBooks.com.
My name is John Ebert, and I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina. What made me become a Talking Birds ambassador is I love the show. If I have a message for any Talking Birds listeners, it's become an ambassador.
Talking Birds listeners, we hope you'll become a Talking Birds ambassador. Just visit our website, talkingbirds.com. Click on Get Involved at the top of the homepage, and then choose the Become an Ambassador option.
Well, we got an email from a listener in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, about feeding the birds in her backyard, which she says she's been doing for a number of years, and she had a question about something going on there, and we tried to think who might answer that question. And
hey, I'll do it.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. I guess we'll have Mike O'Connor answer that question.
I put my hand up. Nobody called on me, so.
You've been having that problem since third grade, I think.
Hey, by the way, I got your joke right. That was pretty good.
Which joke was that?
About Freya seeing birds in a bathroom, and you can find birds wherever you go. Nice one.
Yeah, there's the rim shot delayed. Yeah. Okay, thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Anna Therese says she's been seeing a problem with the robin at her heated bird bath. They're drinking the water, and she said, I noticed a brownish, murky substance in the water. I quickly emptied it and cleaned it out and put fresh water in the bowl, but she also noticed some very dark droppings in the snow. This seems to be kind of a trend on our program here this morning. But anyway, she's wondering what's going on. Is this robin ill, or what do you think?
No, it's the season. First of all, good for her. Good for you, Anna Therese, for keeping an eye on your bird bath. A lot of people, first of all, don't have bird baths in the winter when birds are desperate for water. And secondly, if they do, they just don't pay attention to them. So you notice that they need to be maintained. So good for you. Robins, this time of year, they switch from worms to berries, eat a lot of berries. Berries like geese eating grass. It passes through the birds quickly. Because of the seeds take up, all the berries have seeds in them, which is the plant's idea. The plant puts out the berries, the birds eat the berries, and then fly away and then disperse the seeds, which helps the plant to get more habitat. But the seeds take up a lot of room inside the bird's digestive system, and so the birds pass those things quickly. Once they get the flesh off there and that's dissolved, the birds, they either poop it out, which happens a lot, or if it's a large seed, they regurgitate it and they pop it out through, just like to spit it out. And my bird bath is full of seeds right now, or the ground around it. As a matter of fact, she had one robin. I had like 30 the other day. When they left, it looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. There was just stuff everywhere. And it's just the birds drinking the water. They drink the water a lot because some of the fruit is fermented right now. And so that helps dilute the toxins. But mostly they're just taking a little bit of flesh off there and digesting that, and then they regurgitate the seeds, or they poop them out the other end, depending which way they're going. But that's what's going on right now with the berries. The berries keep the birds alive in the winter, and it's not just robins, it's bluebirds or mockingbirds or whatever. And good for you for keeping your bird bath nice and clean.
All right, that's Mike O'Connor watching birds wherever they go here on Talking Birds. Thank you, Mike.
Talk to you next week, Ray.
All right, Mike O'Connor at the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod, and we're back to the Mystery Bird Contest without much time left to go on our show. Let's see if we can get an answer to the identity of our mystery bird. Russ is somewhere in northern Virginia. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's the weather down there these days?
I got a little bit of snow and sleet still remaining on the hillside here.
All right. Not bad, though. And what do you think our mystery bird is, Russ?
I'm going to have to go with the northern pintail.
Why not? Because that's what it is. Yeah. Northern pintail. Exactly right. Nice job, Russ. If you'll stay on the line, Jesse will get some info from you, and we'll send you those beautiful prizes.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Russ. Northern pintail, our mystery bird. Before we go, there have been some disturbing developments involving allegations of harmful behavior by some popular figures in the birding community. We've put up a post with some comments about this situation and a link to the details on our talkingbirds.com website and our Facebook and Twitter pages if you'd like to check on that if you haven't heard about this situation. Okay, today's show is over, so we are off to work on the next one. Thanks to our amazing Talking Birds team, Debbie Bleacher, Freya McGregor, our assistant, Audrey Stack, and our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown. See you next week.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
And Beautio Books, an independent family-owned bookstore carrying one of the largest selections of birding books in the world. BeautioBooks.com.
And by Ocean State Bird Club. We're running new online talks about topics like owls and cuckoos to enhance your birding skills. Learn more by following us on Facebook and on our website, oceanstatebirdclub.org.